Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mother and Daughter Ministries. Okay, welcome back to Mother and Daughter Ministries. Today, as you can see, is just me by myself. My mom, she had some things that she had to take care of. For ones that don't know, I have a brother that's disabled, so he was in the hospital on this week, so she had to go and attend to him. And I just want to really just commend her for being a good mother, for really working. She worked really hard every day taking care of him. She go out her way to do things for him because he's not able to do things himself. So she truly is a definition of a Proverbs 31 woman from beginning to end. She truly is that woman. So she's out right now, like I said, taking care of my brother, which she does on a daily basis. But with him being in the hospital, she's there, of course, with him all day, all night, pretty much, taking care of him. So, pray for her strength and everything. But yeah, let's get started. So we're going to have prayer as usual, and then we're going to get into this word because we're still on this series that we've been on. So yeah, let's do this. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you and praise you, God, for this word on today, that you would release it and bless whomever you desire to bless with this word, God. We thank you and praise you for every viewer, every person that is watching, that you will move in their life, move in their mind, God, that it starts in the mind. I thank you that you'll begin to work and do something new in their mind and begin to trickle down into their heart and do a work in their heart, God. I thank you and praise you that you are doing something new in every person that's watching, God. Do something new in them. Do something new in their life, in their situations around them. Do something new in their family, in their children, in their friendships, God, and the relationships all around them. I thank you for you doing something new. And I thank you, God, that the sacrifices that we have made, the sacrifices that we are making, I thank you and praise you, God, that there are testimonies with every last one of them. I thank you for testimonies coming out of everything that we do, that nothing that we do is in vain, but it's for your glory. And we just thank you. We praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So the title for today is The Sacrifice. I need like some music to go with it to kind of, like the sacrifice. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. All right. So seriously, let's get back to it. Okay. So we're coming from, or I'm used to saying we. She's still here in spirit though. So we are coming from Genesis 22, 15 through 18. So, yeah, let's get to it. Genesis 22, 15 through 18. And we're going. Let's go, y'all. So, it's the sacrifice. It's the series that we've been on. It's a part of the series of the expansion of Abraham. It's a part of that series. And this is part 3. This is actually part 3 now of the Abraham expansion series that we've been on. And like I said, today is called The Sacrifice. And you're going to get why once we get into it. But this one really blessed me a whole lot. Just studying, and not just only studying, but it was actually through a dream that God had given it to me. And he was speaking to me. And through that, it's like he just kind of just boom, 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 boom. Like, just kind of started hitting me with stuff and giving me revelation even more. And it's just been fun even studying it, studying the word, of course, as he was giving me things and showing me things. So I pray this word truly bless you as well as much as it blessed me. But let's go. So, Genesis 22, verses 15 through 18. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies. And through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me. All right, so let's go back to the beginning, the beginning of this story. So this is the story where Abraham was tested. This is the moment. This is the moment where, for real, y'all, this is the moment where he's tested. This is the moment where he has to bring forth the sacrifice. That's the test, the sacrifice that he's bringing. And a lot of times, I'm gonna go to us first, and then I'm gonna go into the story. For ones that know the story, you know the story of Abraham. But for ones that don't, I'm gonna kind of, paraphrase a little bit the story, kind of give you an idea of what the story is about, and then just go into it. But just on a natural side of things, of what we have to. If you have not, we have to make sacrifices when it comes to God, when it comes to serving Him, when it comes to, like we're talking about, expansion. You have to sacrifice for God. You're gonna have to bring forth sacrifices. If you've never done it before, get ready, because you have to. When it comes to God, you have to. It's just a part of it. But when I say it's a blessing when you do it, it's definitely a blessing. It's truly a blessing. It grows you in so many different ways, not just in one way, but many ways. God works in so many ways, and to say a sacrifice is just for this one thing, it's beyond that. The sacrifice is for more than just one thing. So get ready. That's for the ones that have never experienced sacrificing before. For the ones that have sacrificed, I look at, of course, you know what it's like to sacrifice, and God is going to reward you. He's going to reward you for what you have sacrificed, what you have, done and presented before Him. He's going to reward you. And if there's moments too, for ones that have sacrificed in vain, and it wasn't of God, God is restoring, where He's saying, okay, now I'm going to give you a second chance to sacrifice again. I'm going to give you a chance to, redo that thing. So He can bless and move in your life. It's different ways for different people, because we're all, like I said before, we're all on different journeys, but we're on the journey of expansion. We're on the journey of growth. That's what expansion is. It's just expanding, growing and expanding, and making room for more. That's all it is. We're making room for more of God, more of His anointing. And really that's the most important thing, is more of His anointing, more of Him inside of you. More. He's ready to expand you more. And that's what Abraham, he was expanded. He was expanded, and not just spiritually, but it trickled into his wealth as well. What he had, material things that he had as well. Not saying that that's the focus. No, that's not the focus. But that was one of the things that he truly was abundant in, was his possessions as well. And it clearly stated his possessions. But he was abundant in his possessions as well. He was abundant spiritually. And of course, we know him as the father of faith. Like we've heard that story. If you've grown up in the church, that's the story you hear all the time. That's what you hear. Abraham, the father of faith, the father of faith, the father of faith. But along with the father of faith, he had possessions as well. He had wealth as well that you don't even realize he had. But until you really look down and read, and you're like, oh my gosh, you really had wealth. He was wealthy. Even at the very beginning, he was wealthy. But let's get into it. I want to go and get into it. So the story of Abraham with the test. So God told Abraham that he wanted him to bring forth a sacrifice. And this sacrifice was his son. I'm having fun with this, y'all. I'm having too much fun. But okay, his sacrifice was his son. His promised son at that. It wasn't just any son, but it was the son that God promised him. So if we go back, I'm going to go back to last week when we were talking about the split. Before the split, actually, I'm going to go to the first one. When we talked about the expansion, when God called him, he called him out and told him that he was going to make him a great nation, all of that. So when you go further in reading the story of Abraham and Sarai, or Abram and Sarai before they became Abraham and Sarah, it was Abram and Sarai. God promised them a child because they never had a child. They didn't have any children at all. Um, but God had promised them a child. He told them that they were going to have a child, but he said it to Abram at the time. He told Abram. So, they got into their little, the whole story. For ones that don't know, go and read the story. It's a good story. Abram, he messed around with Hagar. So Sarai gave the suggestion that he should sleep with Hagar, her handmaid, and he did. She had Ishmael, and that whole shebang, the whole situation happened with that. And moving forward, finally, Sarah had a son, named him Isaac. And once Isaac was born, it was time for Ishmael and Hagar to move forward and go their direction. But of course, that was a whole test in its own with Abraham and what he had to do even with that situation. And it kind of ties in with what we talked about with the split. It comes to a point where you have to split from people. And that's the same thing they had to do with Hagar. It came to a point where it was time for them to split from Hagar. It wasn't for that journey to stay. It wasn't for that for her and Ishmael to stay along with Abraham and Sarah in their journey to expansion. They were only there for a season. And how did first of all, before I go further in, because that kind of came to me too. How did Sarai or how did Hagar come into the picture? Hagar came into the picture when they went to Egypt. One of the kings had given them Hagar, like as kind of like a peace offering type thing. They gave Sarai Hagar, and that was her handmaid. So that handmaid, she wanted to go in and do stuff herself instead of trusting God. She stepped out, and bad decisions happened. And I want you to know, sometimes yes, you do make bad decisions. Don't beat yourself up about it because you have made a bad decision or you regret something that really God said wait on it, but you jumped ahead and you did it. God still can restore. God still can restore. And that's what he did with Abraham and Sarah. He still restored. He still blessed. Because the thing is, it was still their promise. It was still the promise that he had for the both of them. And that was the thing. He still made Isaac come forth. He still was letting them know, hey, this thing is both of y'all together. It's not y'all separate. It's together. And we talked about that with the when we talked about the split and everything. We were talking about how, or was it the split? It was before. We talked about, in one of our topics, we talked about husband and wife. Actually, it wasn't. It was one of our studies where we talked about husband and wives working together. And you can go back into that too. It kind of ties in with a lot of stuff that we have already spoken about. Go back and watch our videos because honestly, all of them tie into just this very moment. Because when you're on a journey of expansion, it's a lot that God will give you and speak to you. It's a lot. So go back, watch our other videos if you haven't, and let them lead you up to this video as well. Of course, watch this video, but watch the other ones as well. Because honestly, it will bless you. But back to what I was saying with Sarah, she had to realize that it was both of them together. And for husbands and wives, realize it's both of you together that God want to do this great thing with. He wants to, show the nation your anointing as husband and wife. And like I said, for even individuals God is talking to, don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up if you made a mistake. And for people, period, if you made a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Because God is redeeming you. And that's really what this is. He redeemed Abraham and Sarah and still brought forth Isaac. And in that promise that he promised them Isaac. He brought it to them. He gave it to them. Finally, it was that moment they received the thing that he had been promised them. They received it. But something you release and let go of, something precious to you, something that is precious. Let me put it like that. It's precious to you. It's personally yours. Can you release this thing that's personally yours that God gave you? Can you release that thing? Can you release it? Something that's sweet, something that's, I like this thing so much. God, thank you for it. Can you release that thing? Can you let it go? I know for me, it was like, I had to, and in moments it was like, God, but I give it to you. And not just one moment, it was many moments that I've done that. Many moments where I had to release stuff and let go of stuff. And no, is it easy? No, it's not easy. But when you're on your journey to expansion, you got to do it. If you want to be expanded, if you want more, you got to do it. And that's what my thing was. My mentality was, I got to let it go because I want more of God. I got to let it go because I want more of his anointing. I want more of his presence. I want more of his spirit. So I had that mentality of, I'm letting this go. I'm letting that go. I'm letting that go. It was easy for me to begin to let stuff go because I was focused. And when you get focused and determined for what God have, you will be willing to let go of whatever it is he wants you to let go of. And that's the point that Abraham had got to. He got to that point where it was like, you know what? I gotta let this go. I know God promised me this. This is my baby. This is, oh my gosh, this is the thing he said. This is the thing. This is not the mocking thing. This is the real thing. Because Ishmael was the mocking thing, but Isaac was the real thing. How many of you have things that it was a mock? And it still caused a headache. It was like you thought it was it, but it really wasn't. You just stepped out and you knew it wasn't, but you still wanted it, and it caused the headache, and it was like, I'm sick of this thing, or it's starting to get on my nerves. It's frustrating. It brought a headache to you. But now it's like this thing that now he had brought forth this thing that he'd been promised and said, hey, I told you I was going. Now this is in front of you. And he's saying, are you willing to give it to me still? Are you willing to sacrifice it still? Are you willing to give it all up for me? Are you willing? And that's where he was like, okay, God, let's do it. Let's do this thing. Let's sacrifice. Let's go. Where? Come on now. I'm paraphrasing. But the Lord told him where he wanted him to go. And he was like, I'm going to show you. Pack up your stuff. Get everything together. So Abraham started getting everything together, packing up everything. And he got his two servants to come along with him. His two man servants to come along with him and Isaac. And he was like, come on, Isaac, let's go. And just think, like, just imagine. It didn't even say if he had told the servants. Oh, no, it did. Finally, it did. I was like, there we go. It did. So he was like, y'all, come on. So he on his journey, he going, and they just like, all right, we going. He going to sacrifice, okay. And so when he got, and it was more than 2 days away. It was at least, I'm putting it like that. It was at least 2 days away, because it said by the second day, that's when the Lord showed him it was in a certain spot. And he said to leave the servants there. So it was at least 2 days away. Wherever he was walking to, it was at least 2 days away. 2 days worth of walking. Let's put it like that. So he was walking, got to that spot, and that spot, here it is. He's walking, and he said he had to leave his servants, and he was like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta go do this sacrifice, but we gonna be back. That's what he told his servants. He said, we gonna be back. It's funny how he was speaking revelation. He was speaking revelation before it even happened. He was speaking it into existence before it even happened. He had that type of faith that, and then I'm not even gonna say, because you never know what's in his mind. What was in his mind at that moment? It could have been a thing of, he just said that to get the, to just let them know, hey, he didn't really want to tell them the whole story. That could have been a thing, that he was just like, all right, we gonna be back, y'all. Like, because he really didn't want to say, oh yeah, I'm about to kill my son, I'm gonna be back. He not, but I'm coming back. Like, like, when you really think about it, Did he really, you know? Yeah, we know he was the father of faith, but that doesn't mean that he didn't have doubt. That doesn't mean that he didn't have fear. Even in the midst, he had faith. Yes, he had faith, but there could have been moments that he still had doubt. And that's where I feel like a lot of ones have failed, even with giving that word of that Abraham, the father of faith. Abraham was the father of faith. But yet, it's like you feel like you have to live up to this thing of this big old faith and never have a moment of doubt. But we know we're human, so we're going to have a moment of doubt. We're going to have those moments. And that's where, even in this moment, yeah, he spoke it into existence that my son is coming back. But did he speak it because he was afraid to really say that God told me to kill my son? God told me to sacrifice my son. But instead, he gave them the easier answer that I'm getting ready to do this sacrifice, but we're going to be back, y'all. All right? To keep them quiet. To keep them hushed. Has there ever been a moment in your life where God told you to shh? I don't need you to tell everybody what I told you to do. I don't need you to tell everybody what I'm telling you to sacrifice. I want you to sacrifice this, but you ain't got to tell them that. And you just have to speak in faith that it is what God said it is. It is so. There's plenty of moments, and I'm going to go to, is a moment for me that God told me to sacrifice, let go. And let me tell you, was it easy? No. But in order to get them to, like he said, it was like, hey, I'm coming back. It was for me a moment of like, hey, y'all, I'm fine. Hey, y'all, it's this. You know, he had to let them know what it was going to be. Let me put it like that. He had to tell them what it was going to be. He couldn't tell them what it is, what it really was that moment that I'm getting ready to sacrifice him. He had to go on and tell them, okay, we coming back. God wants you to speak faith into whatever it is that he's telling you. Okay, you may be in this moment of sacrificing, but I want you to speak life into whatever it is that God is saying he's promising you or he's bringing forth to you. Speak life into it. You may not see it. You may be waiting on something. You may be waiting on whatever it is that God is saying, hey, you waiting on a phone call. You waiting on the email. You waiting on a text message. But he's saying, even in that waiting, I need you to still speak. It's still happening. It's still going. This opportunity is still coming forth. He may have said this job, this certain position that you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting on and waiting on and waiting on. And he's like, I need you to, in spite of, I need you to steal. This position is mine. In spite of what it looks like. This position is mine. Folks around you, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should, or, no, it's still mine. This thing is still mine. It's still mine. And that's really what Abraham was saying. He's still my son. He's still coming with me. He's still coming back, In spite of still, I guarantee you, he had that doubt. It was that doubt. It was still that. But he had to tell them, we coming back. We gonna be back. He's coming back. We coming back. And so as he said that, and he walked on forward, and it's him and Isaac. And he like, oh, Dad, what you got? Where's the sacrifice? I don't see nothing. It's just me and you. Where's the, And I'm pretty sure he probably like in his mind like, okay, like, and Abraham telling him, oh, God gonna provide it, and he probably sitting there like, what? Like, what is he saying? What you mean? Like, he gonna provide? Okay, I'm pretty sure even in him he had a moment of like, what is he up to? What is he saying? What are we doing? I'm sure there was moments like that where it's like, what in the world? Like, and I'm pretty sure there's moments where people even around you that's closest to you is like, what in the world are you doing? Why would you do this? Why would you step out of this? Why would you walk away from that? Why would you walk away from that position if God said he gonna do this? Why are you sacrificing all that? It don't take all that. It don't take doing that. That's you dramatic. I'm pretty sure a lot of people say stuff like that when you on your journey. You on your journey and what God told you to do, but everybody else, nah, God wouldn't say that. Why are you doing this? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that same thing was probably like with Abraham. Folks is like, surely he wouldn't. You know, like if, and I'm just being real, like if it was real life right now and somebody said, I'm going to sacrifice my son, the Lord told me to sacrifice, people be like, you just crazy. Nah, you just mental. You, nah. And if he had told them servants, I'm about to sacrifice my son, and they'd be like, nah, Abraham, you mental. No, you crazy. You know? Or even if they didn't say it to him, they would have said it to themselves, like, this man, I don't know if we can follow him. We might have to escape, y'all. We gonna have to, you know, but put out an escape plan and run from this. We can't be underneath a leader like this. But gotta have you doing crazy stuff, crazy sacrifices. Not saying today that he have you doing something like that. No, but he will have you to do things that may seem crazy to other people around you. He'll have you to do something that's just out of this world to people around you, but because you know God, you know that that's what he wants you to do. You know that's something that's needed. You know that's something that is supposed to be done. You know because you feel it within yourself. You know because he has been spoken things to you about your journey. So you know when he say, okay, I need you to sacrifice this or let this go. You know the reason. You don't fully know why, but you know it's because of he's going to do this. Because he spoke this. Because it's the relationship that you and God have. So you're able to comprehend and take in what he tell you to do. Whereas people on the outside, they didn't have that conversation between you and God. So they don't know what you're supposed to do. They don't know the cost. They don't know the cost between you and God and your relationship and where he's taking you to. They don't know the cost. So a lot of times they're like, it don't take all that. That's just too much. That's dumb. That's crazy. You don't know the cost. Your cost may be little, but mine is a big cost. That's just like, for example, when you purchasing something, and let's say a phone, for example. Ooh, a phone is a good one. You have a very cheap phone that could be about, I'm gonna say about $40. So you know those little paper, paper minute phones. Them things be like, I think nowadays they're like $40, $50. Where back in the day, them things used to be like $20. But they were the cheap phones that you could get. Whereas you got the phones that's like an iPhone that you can pay at least for one, 700, 800, up to 1,000, depending on what, the newest ones they have. I think like $900 for one. I know they're higher than that, but like $900 for one of the new ones. So you got 50, 900. And then anywhere in between, a Samsung 700 or, LG 300-400. You got all of that in between. That's the same with our callings. You got all these different people, these different types of people that God has called, but they got different costs. That's how you put it. They have different costs. And based off of their costs, based off of their calling, that's their cost. So their calling may not cost them a lot. Let's put it like that. It may not cost them a lot of sacrificing, whereas yours may cost a lot of sacrificing. Don't let, because of their cost is so little, don't let them talk you out of your cost. Don't let them talk you out of your anointing, what God has called you to do. Your journey is different from their journey. And don't get sidetracked because their study, it don't take that much. Nah, I ain't even do all that. Okay, that's you. My anointing is different from yours. And that's what I had to learn on my journey. My anointing is different from that person. What they went through is different from what I had to go through. And I say that many times, even when it went down to the point of me and my family going to be homeless. My journey of going down to be homeless with my family and my husband and children, you may think I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to go through that. But with my journey with God, that was something that I had to do and sacrifice because it was a journey of learning who God was in my life. It was a journey of knowing that he was the provider for me and my family and my household. Just because you didn't go through that doesn't mean that I didn't have to go through that. That was my journey. That was my story. And that's something that I had to learn to accept. And that's something even with you. You have to learn to accept your journey. Your testimony is different from the next person's testimony. Your story is different from the next person's story. Abraham's story was different. He had to sacrifice something. And it seemed like he had to sacrifice his son. And that's what he was going to do. He was going to sacrifice something that was precious to him. And for ones that think on the outside, it don't take all of that. It takes that and more. And that's what he was determined. He was focused. He had that mentality that I'm going to get whatever God had for me. Even if I sacrifice my son, he's going to make a way for me to have another one. Whatever it is, he trusted God and said, I'm going to do it, God. I trust you. However the outcome, I trust you. Whatever the outcome is, I trust you. And that's what God wants you to do. No matter what the outcome is, he wants you to trust him. Don't even try to figure it out yourself. Just trust. Trust that what he said, it is so. It may not be, even with jobs, it may not be that position at that specific job, but guess what? He'll take you somewhere else and then it's an even better position. He may have promised you, he promised me I was going to be a manager. Now he's telling me to quit. He promised me I was going to be the supervisor, and then they fired me. And God is saying, what did I say? I promised you. I didn't say specifically at that job, but I promised you something. And that's the thing. He promised Abraham. And of course, as we know the outcome, that he ended up providing a ram. But it was the thing that Abraham was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Get that mentality that I'm going to do it. I'm not stopping. I'm doing it. I'm not stopping because of fear. I'm not stopping because of doubt. Because fear and doubt does be in your mind. It does. It sits there. If you don't get a hold of it, it will sit and sit and sit, and then it'll begin to overtake your mind. So when you do have that fear and doubt, you still got to push, press. Nope. Fear, you got to go. Doubt, you got to go. I'm doing it. I'm focused on what God said, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to see it through. I'm going to see it come forth. Whatever it is that God is telling you, do it. Sacrifice it, because you're going to see the promise come forth even more. You're going to see the promise even more. And that was the thing. He was like, I'm going to still see my promise. However it happened, I'm going to see my promise. I'm going to see whatever it is that God have. I'm going to see it. And he even, like I said, spoke it into existence to the servants. We're coming back. We're coming back. So he had it in his mind that I'm going to see my son. I'm going to see my baby. I'm going to see that promise that God gave me. I'm going to see it. And so he was walking, and God gonna provide. He gonna provide. And he probably sitting there like, Lord, I'm telling my son this, Lord, you gonna have to provide. You gonna have to make a way, because I'm over here telling my son that you got something already ahead for us. Lord, how many of you have done that? Where you like, oh yeah, he going, and you telling everybody else. You telling everybody else to trust. You telling everybody else to have faith. And you like, Lord, okay. All right, God, I done did this. I done stuck my neck out for you, Lord. I done stuck my neck out. I done told everybody to trust you, Lord, And you sitting here like, Lord, okay now, like, all right, God, I need you when we make this move. I need you to be here. I need you to meet me, Lord. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of moments that he probably was really thinking like, God, I need you to meet me. Like, I'm over here telling this testimony to everybody else. I'm telling everybody else to have courage. I'm telling everybody else to have strength. I'm giving everybody else the word of faith. God, don't have me out here looking dumb. Don't have me out here looking stupid. Even if you saying that, God is saying, I got that ram. I got that ram for you. But before I get to the ram, you probably out here saying all of that, like God, like, because I know for me, there's moments where I was like, God, where you at? God, don't have me out here looking crazy. God, come on now, I need you to come through. And it's not a thing of like, if you fail or fall, you look stupid. No, but this is a thing of he's been on this journey for a minute. And when you've been on this journey for a minute and God has came through time after time after time and did different things, or and I ain't even gonna say for if he came through time after time, it could be moments where he haven't fully came through. He came through for you. But in the way of what people expect or think, it feels like, is God really with them? I don't really know. They over here talking all this faith stuff and I don't even see nothing. You have people like that. And you could be that very person that's like, you in that position where you still speaking about God and you still telling people about God. And yet, God then came through you and through for you in some ways, but then in other ways, people still looking at you as the least one. They still looking at you as, hey, yeah, they really ain't fully listening to you because they don't see really a full amount of success on your resume. They don't see a full amount of success on your life. So they feel like they ain't really got to fully listen to you because you ain't really made it. But your faith is what's taking you to that promise. Your faith is what God is doing. Is what's causing God to move even more. It was that faith of God is going to provide. He had that faith. God is going to provide. In spite of him steady asking, where's that? What you talking about, Dad? Where's that? But in spite of people around you saying, well, you ain't got this, where your God at? You've been talking about your house, where is that? You know, people talking all types of junk around you and saying all types of things, even if they're not saying it to you and they're saying it behind your back. God see it, God hear it, and he's saying keep trusting, keep believing. And for ones that study trusting and been believing, God is saying I'm getting ready to come through for you. I'm getting ready to open up the floodgates for you. I'm getting ready to bless you beyond your wildest dreams, beyond your imagination. I'm getting ready to bless you because people have talked about you behind your back. People have said stuff about you behind your back because you have truly served me and been faithful to me. Abraham was faithful to God. He served God. He did it. And he was still going through with it. In spite of what it looked like. In spite of how crazy it may have looked and seemed that he didn't have nothing walking with him. He didn't have no animal with him. But yet, I guarantee you to Isaac, he probably was looking crazy. But he still, we going. Come on. It's up there. And he, well, Dad, I don't see nothing yet. It's up there. Come on. It's up there. I see it. God is going to provide. I see that God is going to provide something. God is going to provide. He's making that thing for you. And it's already there. That's the thing. It's not even, it's already there. And so as they were getting there and they got to the place, they got to the spot, and he over here, building sorry y'all, he's building the altar. I'm sorry, he's building the altar. Here we go, stacking up, building up the altar. And that building up the altar, that's that prayer, that's that worship, that you building it up. You done built and just been stacking on top, putting your prayers on top, putting your words of faith on top, putting that everything on top. You just putting them rocks, just I'm doing it. God, I know you got it. I'm speaking it into existence. You said speak life. That's what you've been doing in your secret place. God, you said speak life into this thing. God, I know you're going to come through for me. And you steady building. God, I know you said. God, you said this. God, you said that. Lord, you said this. Lord, you said that. God, I'm trusting you. God, I'm believing you. God, I'm praising you. God, I'm worshiping you because you said you're going to come through for me. Because you said you're going to bring forth the promise. You said it. You said that you was going to do. I didn't say it, but you said. You said to sacrifice. You said to let go of this position. You said to let go of this job. You said to trust you without any job, without any income. You said to start this business. You said to start whatever it is that God is saying. Go back to school. You told me to go back to school. And you just stacking and you building. And you speaking his word. You speaking life. You speaking life as you building. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing Abraham was doing. God, now You said, bring my son. God, all right now, I'm trusting you that you're going to do something. God, you said you're going to do this. God, you said you had a promise for me. You said you had a son for me. God, you said you was going to multiply it. God, you said it was going to be as numerous as the stars. God, I need you to come through. God, I need you to move. I'm trusting that you're going to move on my behalf. You did it before. I know you can do it again. He's just stacking and just stacking and just building and just building. He's steady building. That's your prayers. That's your prayers of faith. That's your worship. That's your praise. Everything that you've been putting out, your praise, your worship, your prayers, you've been putting it out and you've been putting it, you've been building and you've been building and building and building. It's just been building up. It's been building up. That altar is being made. And for ones that ain't, God is saying, do it. Make that altar. I want you to worship me. I want you to praise me. I want you to pray. Even if you got to go on a fast, that's building that altar too. Going on a fast. There's many moments I had to go on a fast and I had to be on a fast and still fasting. God, I trust you. Fasting. God, I believe you. Praying. God, I believe you. I don't care what it looked like. It may not happen today, but guess what? I know tomorrow still got time to happen. It may not happen at this hour, but I know in the next hour it can happen. It may not happen at this moment, but I know it's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to open up. This opportunity is getting ready to open up to you. This door is getting ready to just smack wide open. God is saying it's getting ready. Come on now. Your prayer is opening up that door. Your prayer is opening up that thing that God has for you. That promise. Your worship is setting the thing, is setting the atmosphere for that thing to be conducive to what God has for you. Your worship is setting the atmosphere. Your praise is setting the atmosphere. He was setting the atmosphere by stacking up and building that altar. He was setting the atmosphere for God to come in to move on his behalf. Your worship, your praise, your prayers, your tongues that you've been speaking and you don't even know what you've been speaking in your prayer. You've been going into tongues and you like, oh, God, what am I saying? What? It's the altar you've been building. Your tongue's been building and setting the atmosphere for God to come and move in your situation. Your tongues, your fasting. And you wonder, why am I doing this fast? Well, I know you said to do the fast, but it's because you're setting the atmosphere. You're making it conducive for God's Spirit to come in and move. That's all that setting the altar is. He was setting the altar. He was setting the atmosphere for God to come in and move. So as he was building that altar and worshiping and praising God, he was building it and building and stacking and stacking. And here go Isaac sitting there watching. You got people around you watching. You got people watching your life. And they see you praising. They see you worshiping. They see you in interceding and going into that deeper place. They see you setting the atmosphere. They see your life. They're watching your life. Whether even through social media, they're watching your life and they're saying, man, look at them. Man, they've been praising God for a minute. Man, they've been thanking God for this thing for a minute. Man, look at them. Where is it? I still don't see it. Isaac probably was sitting there. Where is the sacrifice? What is he sacrificing? What is he getting ready? I don't see nothing. He been saying God gonna provide. Where is it at? And you got folks around you steady saying, you've been saying it for a long time. Where is it? You've been praising for a long time. You've been praying about this house for a long time. Where is it? You've been praying about that position for a minute. It's been about 5-10 years and you've been praying about that position. Why ain't you in it yet? But yet your prayer has been stacking. Your prayer has been stacking and it's been building and it's been building and it's been building. And then here go that moment. That moment, I guarantee you that it changed everything. When he said, come on, Isaac, and started just. And I'm pretty sure Isaac probably had a fight in him. Like, no, Dad. Like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like, I'm picturing like, oh, let me go. Like, who's just gonna be like, all right, take me. Like, like in my mind, I'm just like, he probably was like, what are you doing? You crazy, get off me. Ah! Like screaming and hollering, like, get off me, don't touch me, like, don't, no, you said that he had a sacrifice. Why are you doing this to me? What is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Like, I'm pretty sure that was stuff that was going on. Like, like just being realistic. In real life, that's something that we're gonna do. We're gonna fight and like, no, you ain't about to take me. You ain't about to, nah, And I'm pretty sure that was the same thing in his mind. Like, no, you said it was a promise. You said it was, and then you gonna take me? Me? Why you can't take the maids or something? Why me? You know? And sometimes that's too. You be wondering, why me, Lord? Why? Because you chosen. That's why. You got a calling on your life. That's why. You the one. You're the one that God is saying, I want to use. And that could have been in his mind. Why didn't you take the servants? You got a bunch of servants. Why are you going to choose them? Why not me? Why me? Not why not, but why me? Why not them? Why? And I'm pretty sure all of that was just like, but he was choosing him. And for ones that's wondering, why me, Lord? Why me? Why I got to go through this? Why this happening to me? Why that happening to me? God is saying, because I chose you. That's why. Stop asking. I chose you. I chose you. I want you to do this very thing. I want you. That's just like when he chose Esther to be the queen. He chose her for such a time. She was needed in that time. What she carried was needed in that time. And that's what God is saying. What you got inside of you, the journey that you've been on, the life that you have lived, I am calling you. I have chosen you. I approved of you. You have that package. You got everything that I need for you to do in this earth. I chose you for this appointed moment. For this appointed time, I chose you. And I want you to fulfill it. And that's what it was like. I come on, lay down, let me. And he starts strapping him. And starts strapping him in and tying him up. And I'm pretty sure at this point, he hollering and screaming to the top of his lungs. Just, no! Ah! How many of y'all have fought against what God is saying? And God is saying, I need you to stop fighting. I need you to stop fighting. I need you to do this thing. I need you to just say yes. Say yes to my will. It may be scary. It may be frustrating. It may be different. It may be something that you've never even seen or experienced before, but I need you to walk into it. I need you to say yes to my will. I need you to say yes to my way. I need you to say yes to the calling that is on your life. I need you to say yes. If I wanted somebody else, I would have called them for this thing. But I need you to do it. And yeah, God will replace if you don't do it. God will replace. But why not be that one? If he's calling you to be that one. Be that one. Because it's going to be rewarding for you and of course him. But it's going to be rewarding for you. Living that sacrificial life. So say yes. Say yes. Yes to your will, God. Yes to your way. Yes to, if you want me to go and move out of town, I say yes to it. You want me to move away from my family, God, I say yes to it. You want me to go to college here, God, I say yes to it. You want me to go to this school? You want me to go to this college? You want me to go to this position, God? I say yes to this job. I ain't never even worked this job ever in my life. I ain't never even had this type of, you could be thinking that in your mind. I never even had this type of training. But God is saying, say yes to it. You ain't got to have the training. I'm going to train you. I'm going to send somebody to train you. I'm going to send it right on. Just say yes. And I'm pretty sure that fight, it was a fight. It was a fight. It was a fight. He was fighting. He was trying to, because he didn't want to die. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to. And I'm pretty sure there was a fight Even within yourself with things that God said, I need you to do. And you, God, I don't want to go through this. God, I don't want this. God, why do I got to go through this? Why do I got to be the one to do this? Why this? Why that? God, why? And he's saying, because I want you. Because I need you to do it. You're gonna be rewarded when you get done. When I get done with you, you're going to be so blessed. When I get done with you with this thing, you going to look back and say, God, I thank you. But I need you to say yes. In this moment, I need you to say yes. And I tell you, in those moments where it was like we had nothing, and I'm like, God, why do I got to go through this? God, why do I have to deal with this? God, why do we have to do? Everybody else is having this and having that. God, why? And we going down to nothing, living out of a car. God, why? Why? It was for his glory. It was for this moment to encourage somebody else. You may not have a place to go, and God is saying, I need you to go through it. I don't know what it is, but God is saying, I need you to go through it. Because when you come out of it, it's going to bless the next person. And I'm pretty sure he got to a point where he got tired and said, you know what? Okay. All right. He already tied me up. I can't fight no more. It ain't loosening up. So I'm pretty sure he got to a point where he was tired and just like, whatever. And at that moment, God came in. And that's the moment where, when I read 22, and it talked to me when God said, hey, he sent the messenger. Hey, Abraham, over here, look. I got something for you. Like, at that moment, because I'm pretty sure even in Abraham's mind, he's just like, God, I'm giving them to you. But God, this is my baby. I'm gonna release him to you, God. But this my baby right here. This my baby. God, what? And I'm pretty sure that's going through his mind. But yet he's still, come on now, boy, and then be still now. I'm trying to tighten you up. But yet in his mind, he crying, God, come on, Lord, God. I'm doing it, but God, how many times have you been like, God, okay. And for the ones that's like, I'm doing it, but God, okay. I'm going to go through this thing, but God, I need you to come through. I need you to come through for me. And then here it go, this angel like, hey, Abraham, over here. You faithful. You've been faithful. You stuck by God's side, believing every word. You stuck to every word he said. You stuck to it. Now God is saying, I'm getting ready to bless you. You stuck to every word that God spoke. You stuck to every word. And God is saying, now I can move because you stuck to every single word. You stuck to it. You did it diligently. You did it and you didn't fuss. You didn't complain. You did it. Even when you had doubt, even when it hurt you the most, you trusted me. You trust my word. Even when people looked at you like you were stupid. Even when people said things about you and said it wasn't necessary. You was being dramatic. You were doing the most. You still stuck and did it. You still spoke it. You still said, we coming back. We coming back to y'all, all right? Stay right here. We coming back. He said it. He told the servants, we're coming back. You have spoken some things to people and said, God gonna bless me with this. Or God is gonna do this. And folks then watched and watched and watched and watched. And you still spoke it. You still believed it. You still trusted. You still in spite of. You still believe my word. Even when people said, I thought you said God said start a business. It don't look like your little business working. You still trusted. Even when they was talking junk about your little business. You still trusted. Even when they said, oh, look at such and such over here. You need to do what they doing. But you still stayed on your path. And you followed the path that God told you to stay on. You followed and did everything. Because he could have easily been like, let me go on and go find a sheep real quick. Let me go get something real quick. But instead, he stayed on that path and said, okay, I'm giving my son. You stayed on that path. And you didn't sway. You stayed on that path of sacrifice. You sacrificed it all. You sacrificed everything that God told you to sacrifice. And here it go. This very moment where he say, you've been faithful. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You ain't even got to go through with it. You stop right there. Untie him. You ain't even got to go through with it. I got something right over here. Look, turn around. Look over there. I need you to look over there. And that's what God is saying. I got a ram right here for you. I got something right here. I got something that I want you to have right here. I got this thing that's so big and so great right here, right now. This is what I got for you. Let that thing go. Let it loose. Let it loose. And that's what he did. He untied his son. And I'm pretty sure his son probably was like crying and just like an emotional moment. Like, oh my gosh, I was almost dead. I wasn't even about to see nothing. I was just, I was just laughing and making a joke out of it. But seriously, I'm pretty sure his life was flashed before his eyes. Just, all right, this is about to be it. And here you go, what? A ram? Oh my gosh, a ram in the bush. I'm free. Free at last, free at last. He was free. And I'm pretty sure he probably hopped up out that seat real quick, like, it's a ram. Let me help you get the ram. Let me tie down the ram with you. Like that ram came right at the nick of time. It wasn't no time later. It wasn't a thing of, oh, he set it on fire, oh, he burned it up, and oh, there go the ram, get the ram real quick. It wasn't that. It was right in the nick of time. Right in the nick of time, God is getting ready to move on your behalf. Right in the nick of time, God is getting ready to just, bam, here it is right here. This is the thing I've been having all along. It's been sitting right here all along. I just wanted to see how long you was going to trust me. I just wanted to see how long you was going to go and stick with it. I just wanted to see if you was going to go through with it. I just wanted to see. And you did. You trusted me. You trusted me with everything. You trusted me. With every being inside of you, you trusted me. You trusted me. And now I got this very thing right here. I got this ram right here. Come get this ram. Get this ram. And that's what God is saying now. Come get this thing. Come get it. You trusted me with everything. Now I'm getting ready to bless you. And I'm pretty sure he started untying and his son started helping. Here, let me help you tie this ram. Here, let me. And he started tying up the ram. Let's tie him up. Here we go. And I'm pretty sure that was a moment where it was like he knew God. And he seen, that was that moment he seen. And I'm saying Isaac seen that my father really served you. My father really loved you. My father really is a man of faith. At that moment, he realized, God is saying at that moment, people going to look at you and see the anointing, see that God was there all along. At that moment, people are going to realize, man, God is all over them. God was there all along. They truly trusted God. They truly are a child of God because they kept, no matter what, they kept following him. They kept speaking it. They kept saying it. No matter what, you kept speaking it, and they're going to see you blessed with the very thing that you kept speaking. They're going to see you in that very position that you kept speaking into existence. They're going to see you with that successful business that you kept talking about. They're going to see you in that nice, big, beautiful home that you kept saying God was going to bless you with. They're getting ready to see it sooner than what you think. Right in the nick of time, you getting ready to get everything that God has promised you. Everything that God has said he's going to bless you with. Right in that smack dab in the moment. Right in that very moment, right on time, that's when everything just, whoop, here it go. Right in the nick of time, that ram was right there, caught in the bush, stuck in that bush. And no time sooner, he didn't hear that thing moving around trying to wiggle out. No time sooner. It was right in that moment when that angel said, you've been faithful. You've been faithful. You've been faithful. You've been trusting. You've been believing. And God is saying, now, go get that ram. It's been sitting there. Go get it. Now, God is ready to move. Now, God is ready to bless. God is ready because he's been watching and seeing your faithfulness in the midst of what people have been saying. In the midst. That's your testimony right there. The people that watched you are your very testimony because they watched you endure. They watched you go through it all. Yeah, you can speak about it. It's your testimony to speak about. But the very people that watched you are getting ready to speak your testimony. The very ones that sat and looked at you are getting ready to speak your testimony to other people. Because that at that moment, when that ram and all of that, they did it, I guarantee you when they went back, Isaac told everybody about what happened. Isaac said, look, my dad had me tied up and he was about to do this, but God did it and he trusted God and he kept saying there was something there. He kept saying it, and I couldn't see it because it was like, Lord, what in the world? I don't see nothing. And he had me tied up and everything. It's people that have watched you. They have watched you. They've been watching and watching and watching, whether it's been for years, for months, or whatever. People have been watching you, and they're getting ready to now be your testimony. They're getting ready to be your spokesman. There we go. They're getting ready to be your spokesman to say, God was with them all along. They trusted God. I know that's a man, and that's a man of faith. That's a woman of faith. They are a man or woman of faith. They trust God. They follow God. They do what God tells them to do. You getting ready to have folks that's going to testify for you. They getting ready to testify for you. And that's what God was telling Abraham. Once he got done and he sacrificed and he said, now, because I see you faithful. I see that you trust me. I see that you trust me. Even in the doubt, he still trusted God. He didn't say it's never a thing of no, you can't doubt. We're human. We're going to doubt. But still trust him even in your doubt. And as you trust him even in your doubt, when you speak in life, even in your doubt, you speak in life. Even in your hurt, you speak in life. Even in your pain, you speak in life. God is saying, because of that trust, I'm getting ready to move on your behalf. I'm getting ready to bless you because I know that you trust me. Even when it looked like there was no way, nothing, no kind of way this thing can happen. I don't have no money. How can you bless me with this home? I don't have no good credit. How can you bless me with this house, this car, whatever it is? I don't have no kind of money. How can I start up a business? And yet you do it. Yet you trusted him. And he said, I'm getting ready to, whew. And that's what he said. That's what he was saying. When it goes down, I'm going to read it again to you, 15. On 15, when it says, the angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. And your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies. And through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me. Because you have obeyed God and trusted him, he's getting ready to bless you beyond your wildest dreams. He said descendants as numerous as the stars and as the sand on the seashore. First of all, sand, you can't even, the sand's so fine you can't even count it. That's how numerous he blessed his descendants. From Isaac came Jacob. Well, Jacob and Esau. But Jacob. And from Jacob, guess what? He had the tribes, the 12 tribes. I mean, Esau had many too. So we're not going to exclude that as well, because Esau had a nation. So you can't even count from Esau's generation to Jacob's generation. That's a huge amount of generation, because Jacob by himself had a whole crew and everything, and they crew had a crew and a crew and a crew within the whole crew and all of that. So it was too many to count. It really was. It was too many to count. And that's what God is saying. I'm getting ready to bless your descendants. Your seed is getting ready to make seeds. Your seed is getting ready to multiply. The seed that I place within you is getting ready to multiply and bear more seeds. Think about that. That's a lot of seeds. If you got a seed, and then that seed bears seeds, and then those seeds bear seeds, and then those seeds bear seeds, that's a lot of seeds. God has said, I'm getting ready to cause what you produce, what you have created. This thing is about to multiply faster than what you can even count. This thing is about to multiply faster than what you can even think. Your finances is getting ready to multiply faster than what you can even keep up with. Everything that I'm getting ready to give you is getting ready to multiply just that quick. It's about to happen so quick. You ain't even got to work hard for it. It's about to happen just that quick. It's just going to be blessing after blessing, flow after flow. This thing is getting ready to come that quick, and people are going to testify about your life. They're getting ready to testify about your life. Not theirs, yours. Because they have watched you. They have watched you. They have watched you serve God. They have watched you trust God in this process. So they're going to be your mouthpiece. They're going to testify about you and what God did for you. They getting ready to testify. And that's what really, it just, all of that just blessed me. Going over that. It just blessed me. And how he even said the descendants will take possession of their enemies. Your enemies, they destroyed. God got every enemy. God is saying, oh my gosh, what he's getting ready to do in your life, everything that he's doing in your life. You know why it's taking possession? Possession is really, it's a control, it's overtake. That's really what it is. A possession of something is what you control. You control it, or you overtake. So God is saying, I'm getting ready to bless you so that it's going to overtake your enemies. What I do for your life is going to overwhelm your enemies. They're not going to be able to handle what I do for your life. Your enemies are not going to be able to handle what I do in your life, what I do through you. They're not going to be able to handle it. They ain't even going to want to see it. It's going to overtake them. Everything that I do for you, they're going to have to see you. They're going to have to see you blessed. They're going to have to see you walking in your car. In your Garland, and in your car riding down the street. They gonna have to see you. This word blessed me so. It blessed me. I'm telling you, God is getting ready to reward you. Your sacrifice creates testimony. And for ones, like I said, that's getting ready to sacrifice. That's getting ready to, your sacrifice, keep that in mind and in your heart. Your sacrifice is your testimony. Your sacrifice is your testimony. But I pray you guys be blessed. Keep that word within you. Be blessed on today. Run with it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Share the word. Please share the word. Somebody is in need of a word today. Send it. Somebody is in need of it. Don't be selfish and keep that word for yourself. Send it. There's plenty of moments I be wanting to keep words for myself, and the Lord be like, nope, send it, and I have to go and send it because it be just that good. But I go on and send it, and guess what? That's being a blessing to somebody's life when you send that word. And God can bless you just for being a blessing by sending a word. He will bless you. So send that word to somebody. Share this word. Somebody need it. Share it, share it, share it. And make sure you subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram at Mother and Daughters Show. I think ours is a show. Or ministry. No, sorry y'all. Instagram is Mother and Daughter Ministries. Follow us on Mother and Daughter Ministries on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. Because we, every Friday, do encouragements as well. And then here on YouTube, we do our word. We minister. And that's at 2 o'clock every Tuesday. And like I said, every Friday on Instagram, that's at 1 o'clock. And that's Central Standard Time. We live in Texas, so it's Central Time, y'all. So make sure on Friday, if you want to get another word, meet us on Instagram. But yeah, definitely, guys, I pray this word really bless you and bless whomever you send it to. Like I said, take this word in.